It's a blessing just to be here. You know, it's a blessing to get this type of opportunity to come out and, you know, show the world what I'm about. You know, I got to take hats off. I appreciate, you know what I mean? I appreciate Gervonta Davis, you know, for even taking the fight. You know, I believe they fucked up by taking this fight. But, you know, I do appreciate them giving me this opportunity to, you know, show the world what I'm about. You know, I'm just ready to go out and shock the world and do what I do what people think I can't.
The boxing world is buzzing with excitement as Gervonta Davis and Frank Martin have come face-to-face ahead of their highly anticipated bout. Meanwhile, Errol Spence Jr. is throwing his support behind Martin, predicting an upset against Tank.
Yeah, I see him getting his hand raised. I mean, I feel like he's the most skilled, talented fighter that Tank ever fought. Like, it's one of those he can't take those early rounds off and feel like he's gonna come in the 7th, 8th round and hope for a knockout. I feel like Frank gonna dominate him first through 12th round and win a fight. I mean, Tank gonna put up a fight. You know, he's a great fighter, but I feel like Frank definitely gonna take it. I feel like
supporters are skeptical about Martin's chances, given his recent struggles against Artem Harutyunyan and his scarcity of significant wins. He possesses strength and ambition, eager to challenge the Baltimore-born Tank, who has been basking in the glory of his 7th-round knockout win over Instagram sensation Ryan Garcia. After a 14-month hiatus, it's uncertain how Tank Davis will perform against Martin. On the other hand, Martin is expected to come out aggressively on June 15th, aiming to set a rapid pace and dominate the initial rounds. His strategy is to establish an unassailable lead against Davis, who is known for his slow starts. In Spence's view, Martin's best chance of winning this fight hinges on increasing his punch volume and adding more power to his strikes. Tank has demonstrated a weakness against high-volume punchers, which isn't typically Martin's approach. Martin generally has a slower pace and tends to rely on power shots. Spence's strategy for Martin to start aggressively is spot on, but experiencing Tank's power in the initial rounds might make him reconsider and adopt a more cautious approach. This scenario is reminiscent of Ryan Garcia, who became apprehensive after Tank injured him in the 2nd round last April. Spence remarked that while Tank would certainly put up a fight and acknowledged him as a great fighter, he believed that Frank would definitely win. He stated that Frank was the best fighter Tank had faced, and that Tank would experience Frank's speed, strength, and power on fight night.
He's the best fighter he's fought. He's gonna see the speed, he's gonna see the strength, he's gonna see the power that Frank brings to the table on fight night.
Had Martin not performed so poorly in his recent bout against Artem Harutyunyan, fans might be more inclined to trust Spence's words. If Martin had returned from that fight and delivered a standout performance against a formidable opponent like Shakur Stevenson, Andy Cruz, or Vasily Lomachenko, he would have regained their confidence. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. Meanwhile, Frank Martin expresses his conviction that Gervonta Davis made a significant error in selecting him as the challenger. For his WBA regular lightweight title defense, Martin is determined to make Tank regret the choice to fight him by delivering the 29-year-old his inaugural career defeat in their upcoming bout next month. For real progress to be made, fighters like Tank Davis need to face opponents who truly challenge their skills with stacked undercards to amplify the excitement. It's baffling that Isaac Cruz stands out as the best name on Davis's record. He should have encountered far superior opponents by this point. Critics point fingers at Tank Davis's former promoters at Mayweather Promotions for shielding him from formidable opponents at 135 pounds. However, this strategy is no longer sustainable, especially with PBC aiming to deliver compelling events on Prime Video PPV. Talking about his title shot next month against Davis, Martin said, "I get the opportunity to show the world what I'm all about. I appreciate Gervonta Davis for even taking the fight. I believe they f***ed up by taking this fight, but I do appreciate them giving me this opportunity to show the world what I'm about. I'm just ready to go out and shock the world and do what I do and what people think I can't do." After exchanging blows with Gervonta Davis previously, Frank Martin knows Davis's strengths well. In a recent interview, Martin described his sparring sessions with Davis as valuable. He praised Davis's precision, ability to stand his ground, and his ferocious fighting style. However, Martin pointed out that Davis didn't pack the most powerful punch he's faced in his career.
What do you think of the fight?
We could go. We could go. We could go. You know, I just fought the title eliminator or whatever for the WBA, so we could go.
What would that fight look like?
It'll be a good fight. It'll be an explosive fight, two fast fighters, two strong, explosive fighters. It'll be a dope, dominant fight, you know. Explosive fight. It'll be an explosive fight.
Do you feel like you guys being familiar with each other from sparring and whatnot, that would play a role in the fight at all?
Nah, you know, that was years ago. You know what I mean? So he had come to the ring with something different, and then, you know, vice versa, I'd do the same.
Talking about his experience with Davis, Martin expressed that they did good work together, each holding their ground. He praised Davis for being sharp, noting that some fighters might struggle to keep up with his speed and reflexes. Martin said, "It was good work. I held my own. He held his. Good experience. He's sharp. You gotta have some power. You gotta be able to hold your own in there because Tank's a beast." When questioned about whether Davis was the toughest opponent he had encountered, Martin replied in the negative, citing a Mexican boxer named Pablo as the most formidable puncher he had spared against. Despite this, Martin acknowledged Davis's strength, commenting, "Nah, it's a Mexican boxer I sparred with. His name is Pablo, but he got some power. He can crack. Good timing, Sharp." On that note, Frank Martin's trainer Derek James expressed, "We have Frank Martin working out. Things have been said about the fight against Davis in June. It's a big deal, yeah." Fight Hub TV recently posted a short video on their YouTube shorts featuring Martin's training session. In the clip, Martin, displaying peak fitness and athleticism, is seen engaging in a rigorous workout routine. One particularly tough exercise shows him sprinting against the resistance of a stretched band, likely aimed at boosting his endurance levels. The video provided comfort to his fans who may have been worried about their unbeaten champion's chances against the formidable Tank. While both fighters are talented, Tank has the advantage. With a history of taking on tougher opponents, staying undefeated, and holding 3 division titles, he poses a major challenge. While Martin from Indianapolis has encountered numerous formidable opponents in the past, this marks his initial chance to contend for a major league championship. Can he pose a threat to Tank? A recent training video showcased Martin's unwavering commitment to securing victory in the title bout, leaving fans hopeful that he will ultimately realize his ambition. However, that's not all. After seeing Tank's recent footage, Martin, his upcoming opponent, didn't back down. He promptly displayed his own muscular physique on his Instagram story, just like Tank did. Martin, also known as The Ghost, shared a snapshot of his toned body right after hitting the gym. Soon after, boxing media caught wind of the clip and quickly spread it across their social media platforms. They captioned the post, "Frank Martin is looking ready." Following a hard-fought 12-round showdown in the closely contested lightweight elimination match, Martin emerged victorious. Now, the pressing inquiry looms. Is Frank Martin genuinely ready to take on the formidable Gervonta Davis? Martin confidently claims he has already left a lasting impression on Tank Davis from their previous encounter. Amid the buzz building up to the highly anticipated face-off between Martin and Davis, Martin seized the spotlight in a one-on-one interview with Najee on Cigar Talk. As the conversation unfolded, Najee probed into rumors about Martin sustaining an injury during a sparring session with Davis. Martin wasted no time refuting the allegation, firmly stating that no such mishap took place during their time in the ring. Martin came clean, admitting he bore the blame for Gervonta Davis's injury during their sparring match. Once Davis got wind of Martin's bold claims in an interview, he didn't hesitate to set the record straight. In a tweet that has since vanished, Davis warned, "Keep on talking. I'll drop the footage." Despite Martin hinting that the sparring footage exists, it's yet to surface for public viewing. In the midst of it all, Eddie Hearn, the promoter extraordinaire, holds firm in his belief that Gervonta Davis would effortlessly clinch a triumph if he were to spar with Frank Martin. While Hearn entertains the notion of a Davis-Martin showdown, he remains pragmatic about its pay-per-view prospects. Martin, presently seated at the number 2 spot by the WBA, flaunting an unblemished 18-0 record adorned with 12 knockouts, still dwells in the shadows of recognition in his career. Drumming up buzz for this bout might prove challenging, given Martin's relatively modest fame and fan base. In response to the announcement of Gervonta Davis taking on Frank Martin in the ring, Eddie Hearn expressed his assurance to Fight Hype that Davis is poised to clinch a resounding win over Martin. He said, "It's all right. It's an easy fight for Tank. Frank Martin is a good little fighter. I don't think it's going to do mad numbers, but it's a good fight." Meanwhile, Calvin Ford, the coach of Gervonta Davis, along with his assistant Kenny Ellis, have been assigned the responsibility of studying Martin in preparation for the upcoming bout. It seems that Tank has heeded Martin's caution and is now putting in serious effort to counter him effectively. Ellis revealed that he has begun scrutinizing Martin's videos to gauge his responses to impactful blows to his head. Ellis said, "Phase 1, up early studying Frank Martin's skull. He has very thin zygomatic bone and a thin muscle layer. There's a very high maxillary sinus. Man, oh man. He's a good kid with a good team though. No disrespect." Martin's impending peril highlights how well Ford and Ellis have prepared Davis for his next bouts.
Martin's not going to fight him. If Martin do fight him, he's going to be off balance at times because he's not that type of fighter.
During a recent conversation with Premier Boxing Champions, Ellis conveyed his unwavering unwavering devotion to the sport, underscoring his passion for nurturing the development of aspiring young athletes. Ellis said, "It rips you apart because you know you can't save them all, but it doesn't stop Calvin and me from thinking we can't save them all. You have people out here robbing people. They run across them again, and they get shot. People are killing people for no reason. Today's generation deals with things differently than when I was their age." In the midst of it all, Emmanuel Rodriguez, the Puerto Rican pugilist, offered a perceptive analysis of the imminent match, blending excitement with a dash of uncertainty regarding its outcome. He astutely acknowledged the challenge of predicting the fight, highlighting the contrasting levels of experience between Frank Martin and Davis. He said, "Experience in boxing isn't just tallied by fights, but forged in the heat of the gym, the grind of sparring, and the crucible of pressure. It's in these arenas that a fighter truly evolves." However, he emphasized that experience isn't solely gained from real combat encounters. He highlighted the importance of dedicated gym workouts, rigorous sparring sessions, and the ability to thrive under pressure and in challenging environments, all of which play crucial roles in a fighter's development. He said, "Power in the ring is a game changer, and Davis's knockout prowess is undeniable, but it's the mastery over weaknesses that often decides the fate of the bout." Rodriguez highlighted Davis's ability to deal knockout punches to his opponents, underscoring his fearsome power as a noteworthy asset.
It's hard, bro. Frank doesn't have the experience that I know of. Because like I said a little early in the video, you don't gain experience inside a ring if you know how to control just the atmosphere and the whole pressure of the fans. Then that's basically the only experience you could get. Experience, you really get that in the gym, you know, training sections, sparring partners, and that's where you actually get that type of experience. But I don't know, man. Gervonta got that power punch to knock anyone the fuck out.
However, he also pointed out certain flaws in Davis's technique, especially his difficulty with managing jabs and maintaining distance, which were apparent in his fights with Rolando Romero and several other opponents. According to Rodriguez, Davis's struggle with jabs and distance is an Achilles heel, one that can tilt the scales if not addressed. But the ring is also a place of surprises and redemption. Based on these insights, Rodriguez leaned in favor of Davis, giving him a 60-40 edge in the match. Rodriguez highlighted the significance of a southpaw against southpaw clash, noting its potential to reveal the genuine skill of a left-handed fighter. He added, "The southpaw showdown is more than a clash of stances. It's a revelation of skill, adaptability, and the nuanced art that is southpaw boxing." Moreover, he refuted the idea that Davis avoids fighting other black boxers, pointing out Davis's lengthy amateur career where he showcased his boxing skills against a diverse array of competitors. He said, "While Davis carries significant advantages, it's the execution under the lights that defines a champion." Rodriguez commended Davis for his outstanding boxing prowess, recalling his impressive performances in national contests and the prestigious Golden Gloves tournaments. Davis exhibited not only tremendous power, but also exceptional agility, footwork, and a knack for strategic counterpunching. He said, "The true spirit of boxing lies in the blend of strength and subtlety. Davis's performance against Gamboa wasn't just about power. It showcased his adaptive strategy and boxing intellect." Rodriguez obliquely hinted that Davis might have relied too much on his physical strength and not completely displayed his full range of skills.
But I've seen a lot of mistakes also. You don't like when they jab him and keep him at bay. I've seen it with Rolly Romero. I've seen it with a couple of fighters, and again, he knocked out Rolly Romero, but before Rolly Romero got knocked out, Rolly Romero was, you know, throwing his jab and was a little frustrating Gervonta Davis. So let's see, man. It's a close fight, bro. I have it edging out 60-40 for Gervonta.
Teddy Atlas, on the other hand, digs deeply into the tactical aspects of the impending fight between Frank Martin and Gervonta Davis.
What I will confirm, what I will validate, what I will second is that he's a hell of a fighter. That he's much more than what a lot of people thought he was, which was just a good puncher. He's a complete son of a gun. And not just physically and technically, but mentally.
Atlas articulates a clear path to victory for Martin, one predicated on resilience and tactical acumen. He said, "Martin's ability to absorb pressure without folding will be crucial. He needs to establish his rhythm early, avoid getting trapped by Davis's aggression, and keep the fight within his comfort zone." Atlas further elaborates on the dynamic nature of Davis's fighting style, which combines technical skill with raw power. He expressed, "Gervonta is not just a brawler, he's a thinker, a predator waiting for the right moment." As per Atlas, what distinguishes Davis from many others in the the division is his ability to seamlessly shift between a patient, analytical style and a more aggressive, offensive approach. When Davis senses vulnerability, he pounces, and that's what makes him so dangerous, Atlas adds. Atlas does not, however, completely rule out Martin's possibilities. Although he acknowledges the younger fighter's technical skill and ring IQ, he makes the suggestion that Davis's rhythm may be broken by a methodical approach. According to Atlas, Martin has to use his jab not just as a weapon, but as a tool for control. If he can frustrate Davis and avoid major mistakes, he can steer the fight into deeper waters. Atlas predicts that Davis will prevail by knockout in the middle rounds, and that the bout will be intense, putting both combatants' will and determination to the test.
He thinks like a fighter. He behaves like a fighter in that ring. He is patient when he has to be patient. He is always contained and controlled.
In their latest altercation, security had to step in when Davis swatted Martin's hand aside after their first clash. Davis remarked that Frank had been overly loud, trying to establish his dominance. He warned that things would take a turn for Frank on June 15th, stressing that none of Frank's associates would be able to assist him. Davis also conveyed his irritation, noting the growing tension, and his plan to direct it at Frank, though he regretted that Frank was the one bearing the brunt of it. Davis said, "I'm definitely looking forward to, all around the board, just being back in the ring. I've been off for a long time, I've been in jail, I've been under house arrest and things like that. I'm just happy to be back here." The friction between Frank Martin and Gervonta Davis was palpable as the two fighters clashed in a heated verbal showdown ahead of their potential matchup. Martin, celebrated for his gritty underdog spirit, expressed his resolve to prove his worth in the ring, highlighting the numerous hurdles he has overcome in his career. Davis, known for his combative nature, quickly took control of the conversation. He dismissed Martin's claims, arguing that Martin has yet to face an opponent of his caliber. With unshakable confidence, Davis declared his intention to teach Martin a lesson in the ring, showcasing the signature bravado of an undefeated champion.
Nah, it's real. This is two dogs.
He's from the suburbs.
It's two
He's
dogs.
from the suburbs.
I ain't from no motherfucking
him
suburbs.
don't got nothing in common.
You don't know me. What you talking about?
But
You
the little
sound
female
crazy.
he got.
That's the problem.
But that little female he got, well, she probably around here somewhere. I'll catch up with her.
Wait, hey,
That little female.
Davis's reputation as a leading figure in the world of boxing is closely linked to his former association with Floyd Mayweather Jr. He was present at the MGM on that significant evening in 2012 when Mayweather defeated Miguel Cotto. Now, Davis is excited about the prospect of headlining at one of the sport's most prestigious venues. He said, "I'm just happy to be back in the mix and happy to fight at the MGM. This will probably be my second time fighting here, but I remember coming to watch Floyd versus Cotto, and I walked through the front door and I saw all the celebrities and things like that. I always wanted to be a part of something like this, so I'm just grateful to be in this position, and also to be on this card with another young lion like myself, and to give the fans what they want to see." The situation grew more heated when Davis began focusing on Martin's background, emphasizing the differences in their upbringings. Davis's comments became increasingly personal and offensive, especially when he attacked aspects of Martin's personal life, including his relationship with his partner. Despite these provocations, Martin held his ground, determined not to back down in the face of Davis's verbal assault. The hostility between the two fighters only grew, as the exchange of insults continued, with neither side showing any signs of giving in. The peak moment occurred when Davis pulled out his phone and showed videos of their earlier sparring sessions, aiming to prove his dominance in the ring. The intense argument went on for several minutes, with both fighters passionately defending their reputations and claiming they would come out on top in a future fight. At that moment, Martin conveyed his thanks for being there and for the chance to display his skills. He acknowledged Gervonta Davis for agreeing to the fight, though he felt it was a misstep on their end. Martin stressed his preparedness to astonish everyone and validate his worth. Martin stressed the importance of contending for a world title, highlighting its personal significance as a goal he had pursued since the outset of his career. He portrayed himself as the underdog and conveyed his acquaintance with Gervonta Davis and his team, asserting his determination to surpass them. In the upcoming fight, Martin added, "It means everything to fight for a world title. I have been working for it. I have been the underdog in this since I started. From the beginning, I have been watching everything. I know how he and his whole team walk." Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather recently praised Gervonta Davis, his former protege, as a heavyweight hitter in the lightweight division, while also commending Shakur Stevenson for his finesse in the same weight class. However, opinions on Stevenson's fighting style vary among supporters and critics. Despite being the WBC 135-pound champion, Stevenson faces accusations of being overly overly defensive and avoiding direct engagement in the ring.
And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always pushed him to be great. And, but over the years, it's constantly going on the internet, take a shot at Floyd, take a shot at Floyd, take a shot at Floyd. Constantly be disrespectful, when all I ever been was respectful to try to help this fighter go as far as he could possibly go. That's all I ever did.
Critics argue that apart from his controversial win over Edwin de los Santos last November, a match some claim Stevenson actually lost, he hasn't faced top-tier opponents yet. Mayweather remarked that Gervonta Davis is likely the hardest hitter at 135 pounds, while Shakur Stevenson would undoubtedly be the most skilled fighter in that weight class. He stressed the importance of skills, citing Pernell Whitaker, who, despite lacking knockout power, was an exciting and resilient fighter who took on all challengers. Mayweather believes Stevenson is on a similar trajectory, aiming to take on the best in the sport.
The two guys, well, the biggest puncher, I feel, at the 135 would probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 would be hands down Shakur Stevens. It's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, I mean, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best?
Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.